In the early 19th century, a doctrine emerged that would profoundly influence Christian eschatology: the Pre-Tribulation Rapture. This belief, which asserts that Christians will be taken up to heaven before a period of great tribulation on earth, was popularized by John Nelson Darby, an English theologian and founder of the Plymouth Brethren movement. Darby, disillusioned with the established church, began advocating a new interpretation of the Bible that emphasized dispensationalism, a method of biblical interpretation that divides history into distinct periods or dispensations of God's plan. Darby's views represented a stark departure from traditional Christian eschatology, which had typically embraced a post-tribulation perspective, where the church would endure the tribulation period before Christ's return. The innovation in Darby's teaching was the idea of a secret rapture, an event where true believers would be taken to heaven suddenly and without warning, leaving the rest of humanity to face the ensuing tribulation. Darby's teachings gained traction through his extensive travels, especially in the United States, where his ideas resonated with the emerging evangelical movement. The timing of his influence was significant, as it coincided with a period of great social and political upheaval. Many Americans found solace in the idea that they could escape the world's coming tribulations. This concept of a secret rapture was further disseminated through the Scofield Reference Bible, edited by Cyrus Scofield, which became immensely popular in the early 20th century. Scofield's notes and interpretations aligned closely with Darby's teachings, cementing the pre-tribulation rapture doctrine in the minds of many Christians. Despite its widespread acceptance, many theologians and scholars argue that the pre-tribulation rapture doctrine is a distortion of biblical teachings. They assert that Darby's interpretation is a relatively recent innovation, lacking historical support from early church fathers and traditional Christian doctrine. The early church, and even the reformers, did not teach a pre-tribulation rapture. Their focus was on enduring persecution and remaining faithful amidst trials. This new doctrine can be seen as aligning with the biblical warning about tickling ears, where people seek teachings that are comforting and convenient, rather than those that challenge and call for endurance. In 2 Timothy chapter 4 verses 3-4, the Apostle Paul writes, "For the time will come when people will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear. They will turn their ears away from the truth and turn aside to myths." The pre-tribulation rapture doctrine can be seen as a fulfillment of this prophecy, as it offers a comforting escape from the harsh reality of tribulation and suffering. It caters to the human desire for safety and security, promising a way out, rather than a way through the trials that the Bible repeatedly says believers must endure. Critics warn that this doctrine can lead to complacency among believers, who might neglect the call to endure hardship and witness during tribulation, as emphasized in the New Testament. The notion that Christians will be spared from future suffering contradicts the experiences of the early Christians and many others who have faced severe persecution for their faith. Furthermore, it can create a dangerous mindset where the emphasis is placed on escaping the world rather than engaging with it and working towards justice and compassion. A particularly dangerous aspect of this doctrine is the potential for it to cause many Christians to fall away from the faith when the expected rapture does not occur before the Great Tribulation. Believers who have placed their hope in a pre-tribulation escape may find their faith shaken or even destroyed when faced with the harsh reality of enduring the tribulation. This disillusionment can lead to a crisis of faith, causing some to abandon their beliefs altogether. The expectation of being spared from suffering can leave believers unprepared for the trials that Jesus and the apostles clearly taught would be part of the Christian experience. In conclusion, the pre-tribulation rapture doctrine, popularized by John Darby, represents a significant departure from traditional Christian eschatology. Its origins in the 19th century and subsequent spread highlight the powerful impact of theological innovation and interpretation on faith communities. Understanding the roots of this doctrine is crucial for discerning its implications and ensuring a robust and historically grounded faith. Christians today must critically examine these teachings, returning to a biblically sound understanding of eschatology that prepares them to face trials with faith and courage. rather than expecting a premature escape from tribulation. By doing so, they can avoid the pitfalls of having their ears tickled and instead embrace the full counsel of God's Word, which calls for endurance, perseverance, and faithfulness in the face of adversity. This approach not only strengthens personal faith, but also fortifies the broader Christian community against the deceptions that can lead many astray. Remember, our hope lies in Jesus Christ, not in some fantasy that we will escape the Great Tribulation, but rather that we should endure the Great Tribulation and bring glory to our Father in heaven.